Okay, starting with some basic T-side theory stuff on Overpass. Overpass is pretty unique. It doesn't really have a defined mid. There's just a couple like mid areas that you want to control. So the whole round, you're basically, it's just the T's and CT's fighting for water, bathrooms, and connector. And whoever has the control of most of those areas will have like the most freedom in rotating around the map and will most likely win the round. So I'll show you how to fight for water, and I'll show you how to fight for bathroom and how to fight for connector. And then once you have those spots under control, you can do all kinds of executes on different sites, and you can also freely rotate from one site to the other site. It's really advantageous for the T's to have control of that, because if they don't have control of connector, for example, if they're showing presence towards A and they want to go B, because the CTs are stacking up here, if they don't have con control, they have to run all the way back through T, and the CTs have a very short rotate. So not going through con is a huge disadvantage for them. So what you want to do is you want to have con control, water control, and bathroom control. Okay, starting with water control. So on the T side, you're going to run up here. The timings work out so that the quickest T will be rounding this corner around the same time that the quickest T will be coming out of here. So this is the angle you're going to be fighting. CT is going to be coming around here, you're going to be here. So what you want are flashes being supported behind you. So you can have a teammate stand on this shadow with this wire. We'll use this spot a lot. Aim at the middle of this door and the bottom of this yellow triangle, and then jump throw. That'll pop a flash behind here, so as this CT is swinging, your teammate will be flashing that, and you'll be swinging here, so you'll have a big advantage. Another flash you can do before that flash is to aim at this shadow here and jump throw. That'll go a little deeper, and it'll catch them a little sooner, but if your teammate's already out, it'll partially blind them, so look out for that. One way to stop the CTs from being too aggressive is to molly off this spot right here, so they have to waste a smoke putting it out at least, or they'll run through it and take some damage. So you can do that in a few ways. Standing on this this shadow with the wire coming out, you can aim at the bottom of the B and jump throw. That'll molly short, and you can condition the CTs by doing that every single round. If you want to do it a little bit faster, as in on a rush, you can run, aim at the middle, like at this cross on the B, and you're going to middle click jump throw when you run over the shadow. That'll land in there as well. With that one, there's a little solo push line that you can do, so you can do all the utility yourself. You can run in, molly the thing, flash short, and then smoke their counter molly, and get a pretty good peek if you want to do something fast. So you can run here, middle click throw, grab a flashbang, look up, middle click throw right here, pop a smoke on their molly here, and then run up short like this. That flash will pop right above right here. And what happens with this Molotov is it's actually deeper than the standard standing molly, and the CTs will not be able to peek here, but you can actually peek behind it. It'll be over here more, but you can peek behind it without getting burned, so you might be able to catch someone playing barrels or crossing sight here. Another way to catch the CTs off is to throw this molly, and then come here with an AK or an AWP or an M4 or something, and you'll see these boards here. You can aim like below this line on this green door. If you aim somewhere at the bottom here and just spray through, that'll put a bunch of bullets right on this corner where the CTs will be coming around. And if you got a Molotov here, and they're trying to push through that, and you spam, you're going to get a kill. So try that from time to time, and make the CTs very mad. It takes the fastest CT about 11 seconds to get to that corner from spawn. So if you look at the clock at the beginning of the round, and you start spamming this at about 1:35, then that's when they should be rounding that corner. If you're in connector and you want to help take water, you can flash yourself out of con by getting in this corner. You'll see these like water drop paint drips here, and then there's this kind of this gap here where there aren't really many of these lines. You can come down, aim at the middle of that gap right at the top of the step, and left click throw. That'll pop a flash into water, so that's a good flash to know. And then if somebody's holding the con door from right here, you can spam him by getting on top of this shelf, and aiming just to the right of this lower black dot right here. Aiming through there, that'll put some bullets right through where he's standing. Once you take water control early round, you don't need to do anything off of it right away. You can just make the CTs nervous by having all this control, and then you can even leave this area, just making the CTs think you're here, and then go help take control of con or of bathrooms later on. But if you are in here, great places to stand are right on this railing here. You won't get spammed here, and it's hard for them to jump spot you when you're here. And if the CTs try to get aggressive, they'll be pushing down here, and they got a bunch of angles to clear, and you can kind of shoot them from this off angle. If you got a teammate with you, a good spot for them to sit is right here. They can get jump spotted a little bit, but they can hold the monster push, and also if anyone pushes in through here, they can kind of hold the crossfire if you're standing up there. If you have water control and you want to peek the guy barrels, you can have a teammate crouch right here. He'll just slide out on this rail until he's looking at this pop can. And then you can jump up on his head. And you can see through here. And then you can even have him stand up and get on his head. And then you can see clear into barrels and even some of sight. If you have water control and you decide you want to execute B, there's all kinds of utility you can do from here. We'll start with a molly for the barrels. You just get up here. There's this piece of plywood. You get at the top of it here, roughly. And you'll just left-click throw to the left of this vent on the yellow container building. That'll molly barrels for you. So that's from upper plywood. The rest of the nades will be from lower plywood, where you'll actually get wedged in the corner here. So you can do a few smokes. This one right here, left-click throw, will smoke middle sight. If you aim in line with this longest brick here and the bottom wire, and left-click throw, this will smoke bridge. And then you can smoke heaven by aiming at the top of this, or the end of this insulator here, and left-click throwing. So that's, with this smoke up, that's a pretty good good setup for executes. For flashes on B, there's 3 main ones. There's one that pops up here, that'll flash behind your teammates as they come out of monster. There's one that pops right here above wood, which you'll get most angles, barrels, sight, pillar, and even stun the guy at wood a little bit. And then there's one final one that'll pop behind this pillar, which you can throw late when your team is already out of monster, and that'll continue to blind everybody in heaven and on sight. So you can do the pillar flash and the wood flash from short by being in lower plywood here. The wood flash is by aiming at the bottom of this corner. That'll land right there. And the pillar flash is done by aiming just kind of like off to the left and below this vent here. That'll pop right behind the pillar. So throw the wood flash first before your team crosses this plane. And then after they're out here, you can keep popping that pillar flash. And it won't blind them until they're right up on sight. If you're attacking B from monster, or just out in this general area, one way to molly barrels is to walking throw to the right of this light, kind of when this pillar gets exposed by this bridge. Takes a little bit of feel, but something like this. You can also do it by getting onto this white line here, and then aiming, there's this cross section here, aiming at the end of it on this flat part, and then jump throwing. For best results, instead of lining up right with the white, go this way a little bit. That way it'll have a better chance of spreading into the back corner. You can also do the all 3 primary flashes from this white line. You can do the pillar flash by aiming right here, walking throw, and jump like after the first step. That'll land behind the pillar. You can do the wood flash by getting at the white line, aiming at the height of the bridge here, and in the middle of this kind of like missing column. Left click throw. That'll pop right above wood. And then you can do the right side monster flash by aiming at the height of this part of the bridge and the right side of this Tetris looking block. Just like this. That pops off the ground, so it does still catch everybody in pit, but your teammates walking in, it kind of blocks the line there, and it's behind them anyway, so it won't really blind them. For the ordering of these flashes, I recommend doing wood first, then this one. And if you have another smoke, then you would do the pillar one once your team is already out. If you want to do a nice little pop flash for pushing out monster, they call this the nose flash. You get at the fence here, and just aim at the left nostril. Left click throw. That'll just barely pop into the line of view of the guy that's at barrel, so I can catch him off guard. You can also do a flash where you line up on this shadow here and kind of aim right around this section of this pillar and middle click. That'll pop just over top of monster. You can smoke middle sight and bridge from monster side. So to smoke middle sight, you would get here on this barrel and just point at the top of the tower and left click throw. And then to smoke bridge, you get in this corner and you aim above this pillar. It doesn't need to be super exact, but don't be too close to the top of the pillar, so somewhere like here. So that'll be middle sight and bridge. Once you're out in the pit, there's some more utility you can do. If you think that somebody's playing in pit and you want to molly this off, that's always a good option. You can also throw any nades and stuff down here by going up on the ramp, aiming at this AC unit, and just throwing at it. That'll bank perfectly into there, and a Molotov. Molotov will burn out this whole side. To smoke heaven from back of pit, you just get in this corner here, aim at this this T kind of shape, right there, and then you're going to running throw and release when it gets to here. And finally, a way to re-smoke heaven when you're on site or near pit is to just get on the wall here, roughly, crouch, and aim at the top of this electrical pole, left click throw. That'll smoke heaven for you. Some utility for connector early round to take control. You can come down here and throw a molly like this. And then with that, the CTs cannot peek you, so you can have a teammate come up here and throw, or stand next to this these spools when that molly's up, and they can throw something like this off of the bottom left corner of this fire extinguisher. What that'll do is it'll ensure that it burns out that back corner as well as this sneaky corner, so the only angle you really need to worry about is someone playing up here, or holding the stairs from up here. And once you clear those angles out, then you've pretty much got control of connector. Now if you think CTs are holding from bathroom angle here, or the divider angle here, there's a little pop flash you can do that'll pop right there to get you out of here. You can stand at the shelf, aim at the top left corner of this this dark spot where this I-beam is, and left click throw. That'll pop a flash right there, and that'll blind this guy and this guy. And then the only other angle that can be held once those guys are flashed off is potentially an opper sitting up here. And to flash that guy off, when you're coming up the stairs here, you can just walk throw at the center of this lamp. That'll pop a flash like that, and it'll just temporarily be in his vision before it pops, and that'll let you get out. Okay, for taking bathrooms control early round, or at least party area, the CTs will often Molotov right here, or smoke. So if they Molotov, you can smoke that out and keep running through. Then if you are not the guy that wasted your smoke on that, you can smoke bathrooms, front of bathrooms here, as well as molly this spot, because the CTs will often have a smoke down here, and they'll be trying to like peek over top with an op or something, and they're gonna use this for cover. So you can molly right here. So to smoke the bathrooms, you look at the right side of this pillar, and there's kind of these 3 dark marks. You're gonna aim at the 3rd one and jump throw. That'll bounce off the door and smoke that off, and they can't easily peek this angle. They kind of can see a little bit through here, so be wary of that. An alternative way of throwing that smoke so that they can't see through there is to come here. You're going to aim up the height of this wall, and you're going to aim until the pin on your grenade touches this bottom branch. If you look down to the right where my grenade is in my hand. So when it touches this branch, then you just left click throw. That'll clear that hedge, and it'll bounce in front of the door. So that way nobody can peek through there. And then when you're here, you can Molotov by looking for this square and then this dark brick to the top left corner of it, or you can think of it as under this arrow. Aim at the top middle of that brick, and then you're just going to jump throw. And that's going to Molotov right behind there. You can also smoke divider from the same spot. So you get here, and if you look on this wall, there's kind of a mark right here, and then you just jump throw at that. That'll smoke connector in such a way that even if you don't have this smoke up, the opper can't comfortably sit like half exposed right here. They'll have to be fully exposed in con to be able to hold this angle. If the CTs have con control and you want to smoke that off instead, you can get in this corner here. This lineup's a little bit tricky, but once you get the hang of it, it's fine. You're going to aim at the top of this stick and draw an invisible line to this leaf right here. So, right here, left click throw. That'll smoke like that. So, if you really wanted to go utility heavy, you could smoke that. You could smoke this. You could smoke divider. And just have this whole area locked down, ready for your control. When you're setting up for an execute A lot of smokes are thrown from like right here. So if you're scared that the guy's going to be jumping dice or playing up close, you can pop a smoke right here to help you like get cover when your team is working up sand, or just to deny them info if they're trying to jump spot. So you can do that from all the way back here. Get on this wall, look for this seam in the bricks, and then you'll see this kind of concrete corner here underneath this lamp that this lamp is attached to. So you get in this corner, aim in that corner, and jump throw. That'll put a smoke right there, so if the guy is trying to jump peek, you're denying info for him. Just be aware that if he's on top of here with an op, he might be able to just see your head as you come through here. So, you know, hug this wall as you come through here, and then maybe even crouch as you're working up close. Once you have short control, you can execute A, and the most important things to take care of are smoking off bank, smoking off dumpster, and then Molotoving truck would also be ideal. And you can also Molotov Dice, and then just pop flashes over as you come in, and the CTs will pretty much have nowhere to hide. So to do that, you can do the dumpster smoke by getting in line with this back door of connector here. Or sorry, this is a bank smoke. Aim at the top of this W, and then jump throw. You can do the dumpster smoke by getting on the top of this bench in the middle, and then aiming at the girl's head on this sign, left click throw. That'll smoke like so. There is a little gap here, but if there's a gap in a smoke and you know it's going to be there, you can just spam it every time, and the CT will often be trying to edge that smoke, so just go ahead and spam him through there. You can also smoke bank from divider, and there's going to be a lot of smokes thrown at this first of these two divider things. So you get right here. You're going to aim in line with the side of the A and the widest part of the tower. So right here, left click throw. You can molly dice from the same spot by looking for this linear scratch here and pointing at the right hand side of it, and then jump throwing. That'll molly the back of dice. Some flashes you can do during the execute are the opening flash by aiming at the corner of this planter and jump throwing. And then the slightly safer deep flash by aiming at this dot near the wall and jump throwing. First one will pop here, blinding this guy in this nook. The second one will pop farther to the side, so your teammates can be farther up the ramp before it blinds them. Rule of thumb, don't throw a flash if your team is already at the top of these stairs. A few ways to molly truck are to get into this pillar, aim at the top of where this right vent meets this third leaf right here, and then you're gonna run forward and then jump throw. That'll molly on truck, close truck, and slightly behind truck. You can also molly truck from the back of the bench here. Just hop up on here, look for this shadow just below where it meets the beam here, jump throw. If you only have one smoke, instead of being able to smoke bank and dumpster, you can get away with just mollying, or sorry, well, molly truck, you can do that, but you can also just smoke right here on site, so you kind of split the site in half. And the way you do that is by getting up on the bench. Then you look up at this sign here, and you're going to aim at the top of the sign between the two circles, so right here, and then left click throw. Like so. You can also do the top banana smoke by lining up at the back of Condor here in this corner. Looking where the A and the N meet at the top of the dark parts of the tower. Just left click throw here. That'll put a smoke in the same spot, denying info down sand. From long, you can do all the same utility. One good one for a smoke on bank, a molly for dice, and then a flash over to push with is from the corner of this shadow right here. You're going to look for these three dots and aim the middle of the two right ones. You're going to throw the smoke first, then you can throw the molly, then you can throw a flash right after in the same spot. That'll smoke bank, molly behind dice, and then pop a flash right here. So that'll blind everybody on site and, burn out dice and smoke bank. You can also smoke bank from the pillar here, just get in line with the shadow on this side of the pillar. And you're going to look at this ball, and there's kind of like the bright white sunspot here, where that starts to change color on the right hand side. You're just going to left click throw on that. If you do it right, it'll hop this curb and go a little bit deeper in. If you miss, it'll be too low and it'll hit the curb and kind of bounce out here, and it leaves a gap on the top there. You can also smoke bank from deeper and long by looking for this curb outside of bathroom. You're going to line up with the back right corner of it. And then at this doorway, there's these multiple angles here. Not the dark one, not the other one with the dark line, but this light colored one up here. You're going to jump throw. That's going to skip a little bit deeper into bathroom so that they can't really play this truck angle. Maybe a slight gap here. But it'll block off from bank proper. You can smoke dumpster from long as well. I'll show you 3 different spots. You can slide down this wall until this ball lines up, like the right edge of it lines up with the right edge of this overhang on the white building. Then you can just aim at the ball and jump throw. You can also do it from closer up long. You kind of crouch at the right of this pillar. There's this this brown dot of grass that'll kind of line up perfectly with your crosshair when you're looking straight down. Look at that. And then at the bottom of this left patch of paint, you're just going to jump throw. And then finally, you can do it from the right side of long by lining up with this ball shadow, and then aiming at the left side of this linear scratch right here, left claw. A great molly to use to molly truck is get in this back corner, aim at the end of the branch right here, and then you're going to run forward and release when it meets this branch. That'll molly out behind truck, and it'll spread to on top of truck. So only angle you need to worry about for truck is this exposed one in the front when you're swinging along. Another molly you can do that'll definitely burn on top of truck and in front of truck, but not necessarily behind truck, will be to get to this pillar again, look for this brown spot of grass, and then in line with the top of this billboard and the edge of the white building. And you're just going to walking release. So that burns the front and on top, a little bit behind, but they can still hide here. And a last minute molly you can do when you're kind of pushed up long already is to go to the middle of these 3 pillars right here, aim at the top of this leaf right here, and left click throw. A flash you can do from long to help your teammates peek this angle and scale up short is to get in line with this pillar here roughly, aim above this ball, crouch and aim like somewhere around this spot on the leaves here. That'll pop a flash above the bathroom door. Okay, CT side. As a CT, you want to, as I discussed earlier, you want to control water, sand, bathrooms, and connector. So a great way to keep T aggression at bay early round is to molly or smoke off right here and take control of party. So to do that molly, you can get in line with the middle of this planter here. You're going to aim right here on this line at the top, and then you're going to run, and then you're going to jump throw just before you reach this bench. Do some practice on it, because if you do it too late, it'll hit this roof. But if you do it too early, it won't molly deep enough. So it's a little touchy-feely, but go like this. And that'll get right up in here, causing the T's to waste a smoke or take some damage to get anywhere. And then you can smoke the same spot by coming here, aiming at the top of this roof and the left of this right vent. Jump throw. That'll block off their sight line to party. And then you can get up here for free and just kind of watch their push through it. Of course, they can come out here. Really underrated spot is literally right here on this pole. And the beauty of this spot is that if you're standing there and the T comes pushing through playground and they peek party, they're looking for you. They're checking all around here. They don't see you until you're right there, and they're pre-aiming over here. So you can catch them by surprise there at least once a game. Sometimes you see CTs throw this molly and a molly that lands here so that the T's definitely can't run past it. So to do that playground molly, you're going to line up here to the left of the dividers. You're going to look at the height of the grass, and like just on the inside of the this white pillar, you can aim around here, grab your molly, and you're going to jump throw as you pass the second divider. Like this. And that'll drop a molly right in here. For taking control up here by party, it's often a good idea to smoke on these stairs to deny line of sight to you directly climbing up onto the bench. So to do that smoke early round, you just come here, you're going to look at this dark line, and as you pass the garbage can, you just release. That'll get lodged up on the stairs, and you can jump up on the bench here, and you can peek over. Just know that you're kind of visible to the T's running up here, ever so slightly. But if you Molotov off here as well, they'll have different things to worry about, so you can opt from there for free. If you want to get aggressive, you can have your teammate pop a flash over like this at the height of the grass at edge of the connector wall, jump throw. That'll pop right out here, so that'll blind anybody in this area. And then off of that, you can swing the right side of the wall here and play behind the fountain if you'd like. Two one-ways that are good to know. Get in the bathroom here, look for this black dot. I remember that it's that one it's kind of like directly below this bracket on the pipe. Then you're just going to aim slightly to the right of that, left click throw. That'll bounce off this sloped wall. And it'll leave you a slight gap right here where you can catch T's pushing out of the connector, and you're kind of hard to see right there, so you can get a few shots off before they'll react. Another one is to get in the corner of the stairs here in connector, follow this line of the arrow, aim in the middle of this pillar, and left click throw. That'll pop a smoke right there, so that any T's that are pushing down connector, you can peek over top of the stairs without falling ideally, and you can get some free shots off on them here. Okay, let's cover some A-site hold utility. Say that the T's have taken bathroom control and they've taken long control, and you're, defending a push coming out. So if you're stuck signpost, you can do a couple of pop flashes to help yourself out. There are these three dots right here, kind of hard to see, but if you aim in the middle of them and left click throw a flash, it'll pop out of the flower beds like this, and it can pop flash anybody in short. Sometimes it doesn't pop out, but it lands on the top here, and that's just as good, probably even better. And you can swing off of that. Alternatively, you can flash long by looking up the right side of the sign pole and finding this bracket. In line with that and the edge, you just left click throw. That'll pop the flash over the top for you like that. And then from the same spot, if you underhand right click throw a smoke at this orange paint line, right click, this will give you a nice little one-way up on the top of the dice. It's not a super one-way, because like you are visible, but it's hard for them to push when they have to be concerned about looking at the top of the smoke and clearing these angles at the same time. So you can at least get 1 kill per game by popping yourself up on there. If you're playing with an op behind dice and you think that somebody is in bathroom here, you can wall bang this wall right here, which will put a lot of damage down this line through bathrooms. So anybody walking up here or hiding around this corner waiting to swing, if you go in this nook here, or anywhere in this line really, and crouch, aim between this white sign and this trash can, just shoot through there. That'll put a bullet right through here. And from some testing, it'll take 2 shots to the body to kill with an op. And if you get lucky and hit them in the head, then it might kill them in 1 shot, but I'm not sure. If you're in this corner on truck and you want to self-flash yourself out to peek, you can look for this, where this mud flap goes over the fuel tank. Just left-click throw here. That'll bounce a flash over the cab, and you can swing off of that. And before we get too far on A site, I wanted to mention that this post has some interesting mechanics. It doesn't render in at long distance, so if you hide behind this pole, and you're holding this sliver angle here, that should work. If you come down here, if you're a T and you've got an AK, you don't actually see that pillar, but the pillar will absorb some damage. So it takes, I think, 3 headshots from an AK through the pillar to get this kill. But just be aware that if they have an op and they zoom in, they can see the pillar now. Okay, for retaking site, you can get in this back corner. You can smoke off divider if you think an op is holding there by aiming at the top of the stairs here and in the middle of this yellow box. Jump throw. That'll trickle down there. From here you can also smoke center site by aiming above this left branch on this fence rail. Left click throw. That'll smoke off that angle. You can also smoke long by getting in this corner and aiming to the left of this lamp, right around here. A good flash for long is to aim in the center of this triangle that's formed here on this wall. Aim in the middle, then you're going to take 1 running step and then jump throw. That'll pop right here. If they have a smoke up on dumpster, this is a really good flash. You can jump and then use that jump to get up on these stairs and run through the smoke and clear sight pretty quickly as they're all blind. So you jump throw, climb up here, let it pop, come through the smoke, clear this corner, and that can help you get onto site. You could put a smoke on divider from bank if you get onto this left door frame. Aim at this black line and the top wire like this, and left click throw. That'll block off that angle if someone's trying to hold that with an op. And then if you want to peek long from bank, you can right click throw a flash where this mirror meets this tape. And that'll have the flash pop just under the front of the truck, which is pretty hard to spot. Okay, pretty situational, but I guess it's fun to know. If you get up on the corner of this plywood and you have a Molotov, you can molly the default spot on A. So as a B rotate, you can try this molly. It's pretty tough to hit, so I don't know. But there's this kind of dark elbow on this electrical conduit here. You're going to aim just above it, and then you're going to like jump throw as soon as you start moving forward. Do some practice on it. See, I screwed it up right there. There we go. That'll land on default. Moving on to B, a variety of monster smokes you can do. It's always nice to smoke deep monster here instead of just like smoking the tube here, for example, because you can have visual line of sight on most of the tube so that T's can't be congregating in the smoke here ready to pop out as soon as it fades. They would have a longer distance to run. So you can do that smoke from CT spawn by getting in the corner of the dumpster, aiming above this electrical insulator right here, and then jump throwing. That'll bounce off of this bridge and pop at the end of the tunnel. So when you have a smoke like that, you can flash like this, clear the tube, make sure nobody's in there, and then it's a lot less comfortable for a T that's playing out here if they have the pressure of you jumping through this smoke anytime. Another way you can do that smoke from A site to help out your B players is to get on the backside of Dice here, like that. You're going to look for the right side of this this cargo container at the railing, jump throw. You can also do that smoke from here at the sandbag boost spot. You're going to crouch in this corner, aim at the corner of the wall and the plywood, stand up and left click throw. You can also do it from barrels by lining up with this tile. You're going to look for this cross of the horizontal wood and this vertical wood in the middle. Then you're going to jump throw. You can also smoke deep monster from this corner on default. You're going to look for the bottom right of this window. I don't know how you want to remember that, but it's this one right here. Left click throw. That one doesn't go quite as deep, but it still covers monster. And you can also smoke monster from this corner near Graphiti. You're going to look at this sign in line with this row of bricks and the edge of this long text. Jump throw. And that's probably the shallowest of them all, but it works. For controlling water as a CT, you want to be mollying or smoking this off early round and then pushing into water. So the fastest way to do this Molotov is to run out here and jumping right click throw a Molotov. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to aim for this cracked concrete here on the right hand side. And as you run across this lifted tile, that's when you right click throw. I even released it a little bit early there. There we go. If you don't want to do it running, you can get on the right hand side of this door and just aim at the left side of this third balcony. You can throw a Molotov there. This will also work with a smoke, and it'll bounce into the tunnel and smoke off. As I showed you on T side, the best spot to sit is right here. If you're CT and you don't have water control, you do want to be retaking it. So the best way to retake it is to molly off this top platform, this bottom cubby, and the railing. That'll force anybody out of that position, and then you can pop a flash over for your teammate to peek from short to clear pit. So to molly off that spot, you get in this corner. You're going to look for this shadow going diagonally up, and imagine a line of that same angle going up from this corner to here, and then you just left click throw. That'll burn on top and in the bottom. Another spot to do that molly from is from here on the pipes and pit. What you're going to do is you're going to be banking a Molotov off of this wall and then off of the side of this building. So what you're going to do is you're going to aim where these shadows kind of converge and just make sure that it's in line with that pillar up there. Then you're going to jump throw. I didn't go low enough here. There we go. The downside with this molly is it doesn't molly the railing or right here, but it does get this cubby if someone's sitting in there. And then from the same spot, you can do the pop flash for short by just aiming at the eye in the board here and then jump throwing. That'll pop a flash right here, So the guys that are getting burned out from the molly will be exposed to the flash, and then you can peek off of that. Two more ways to throw a flash like that are just like kind of freehanding it from pit. Aim at the right side of this crane and just walk throw. That'll go a little bit deeper, so it'll kind of protect your player from the flash as he swings here. And you can also do it from barrels in the corner here. You're just going to aim at the top of the barrel here in line with this gap. Jump throw. That'll pop in short, but it'll still get anybody that's in here. If the T's keep disrespecting your Molotov or smoke here, and you don't want to peek them from here, but you still want to do some damage to them, you can get in this corner, aim at this gap to the right of the sandbags, and stand and spray through that gap, and that'll hit them in the body as they run out here. The boost that everybody knows is right here on sandbags. You can have a teammate stand on there, and you can boost on his head. Oops. If he's standing, you have a view like this. That's what most people do, but you can actually have him stand off to the right-hand side here a little bit, and then from here you can crouch jump onto his head, and it's a silent jump, and you're not nearly as visible from here, but you can still see the entrance and into con. A couple of defensive flashes you can do to help stop a push are to hide in the corner of barrels here, aim at the right side of the orange mark, throw that. That'll pop just in the line of sight of the guys in the tube, so that'll help a teammate swing from wood, or even you know, just blind them and slow them down as you come out. You can also stand at around this wood pillar on wood, aim at the top right corner of this red monster's head, and left click throw. That'll pop a flash right around the corner like so. If you're around the area of this soggy cardboard over here, you can aim at the top of the fence where it meets this this dark edge here, and left click throw. That'll be a perfect pop flash for monster as well. And then if you're playing from a site and you get the call that they're rushing out monster and you want to just help do some support while you rotate, as you're running past truck, you can just running throw a flash over this pillar. That'll pop back here, so your teammates will be all safe, but it'll have some blinding impact on the T's running out here. Another good spot for defending, just kind of to mix it up a little bit every once in a while, is up here on this grate. If you crouch, you can see terrorists' legs coming down the ramp and the stairs over there long before they can see you in this spot. A lot of people play this wrong. They kind of like just try like slide backwards on the slope when they play here, but their accuracy is all over the place when you do that. You can actually run, jump, and crouch, and you'll kind of get stuck up in here, and your accuracy is 100% in that case. Another lesser known off angle is getting up on top of these pipes in the middle here. This allows you to peek short from this angle, and if I roughly try put the bot in that spot, you can see that as the T's come out short and they're looking here, they're not going to be looking for a guy that's up in this spot. So with an op especially, that is a good spot to play every once in a while. Two good defensive smokes to do. Generally, when you're defending B, you don't want the T's to be able to rush around this side and get to pit quickly. What you want to do is you want to put a smoke here to control the flow of T's into this spot, because from here they're exposed to heaven, they're exposed to pit, they're exposed to graffiti, and they're exposed to short all at the same time. So to get a good smoke down here, when you see them coming out monster, you know, take your first few shots and then get in line with this line here and look for this wider of these three kind of smudges here. Aim at the bottom of the fattest one. Left click throw a smoke there. That'll be a perfect smoke, and the T's will either have to push through that, or they will have to go to this side, which is exactly what you want. You can also do a smoke like that if you're playing from pit. Just get in this corner here, and you're going to aim at the corner of this step in the paint or just above, and that'll smoke like that as well. And finally, we have retaking B. So you can ideally smoke short and right here to cut off the pit angle and the short angle holding site. Then you only need to worry about pit and guys playing from this side. So you can do those both from coming in here. For short, you just slide down this wall until you get stuck in this notch. Aim at the right shoulder of this roof, left click throw. And then for middle sight, you just get in the middle of this door. And you're going to standing throw at the top of this wall where this, like, the two planes of the bridge meet in that middle joint, left click throw. There's short and middle sight for you. From there, you can get into this corner behind the door, crouch, and throw a Molotov at this corner right here. That'll molly out pit. And then from the same spot, you can throw at this bottom corner of the arch. And that'll flash into pit for you. As an A rotate, you can offer to smoke short by getting into the dumpster corner. Looking for this back segment of the kind of like the reflective ratchet strap hooks. And there's going to be these two notches. You're going to aim at the right one and jump throw. That'll smoke that off. And then if you want to do a nade stack lineup with your teammate on somebody that is hiding default, you can do the one nade by standing on this drain, crouching, and aiming where this meets the wall. That'll nade default. And then the one from heaven is a lot trickier, but it works if they have a smoke up here. So you get in this corner first, and you're going to look for this pattern of white here, and then there's a darker spot to the bottom left of it. You're going to line up there, and then you're going to run into the corner of the shelf here, crouch, and throw. That nade's right on top of default. So the two nades there will kill anybody standing right here. And if they're planting, you can also throw these nades. And finally, if you are either defending B or retaking, if you're in pit here, you can bank nades or mollies onto the site by just running throw at this this sloped wall here. Like so.